Hey everyone, welcome back to this master series on learning coding patterns. My name is Muhammad Ali, and today we are going to solve this question number 1004 of LeetCode. The name of the question is max consecutive ones 3, and we are going to solve this question using dynamic size sliding window approach. So we have already covered fixed size sliding window and 2-pointer approach, and now we are looking at dynamic size sliding window. And as the name goes, here the sliding window size will be dynamic, which means it will vary depending on the condition rather than being fixed. Okay, so let's see what this question is asking. So in simple words, this question is saying that we will be given an array of binary numbers, which means 1 and 0, and what we have to do, we have to return the maximum number of consecutive ones in the array if you can flip at most k zeros. What this means is that at most we can if we can flip, let's say k is 2, so in this given array, which 2 zeros we can flip in order to create at most, which 2 zeros we can flip in order to create the maximum sub array of ones, the consecutive ones. Okay, for example, if I flip these 2 zeros, so how many ones will be created? Like 1 1, so it 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so these are indices, so 6 means like 6 indices means like 7 ones. Okay, now let's say if I flip this 0 and this 0, so how many ones will be created? So let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so 7. So it means like maximum 7 ones we can create by flipping any 2 zeros in one time. Okay, cool. Now how to proceed with this question? So here you can see that we have this k is the variable which will contains at most how many zeros we can flip. Here it is 2, which means like at most we can flip 2 zeros in one given time. Okay, this is the given array of binary numbers. These are the indices. This variable is max ones, and what this max ones is will contain that max ones will contain the maximum number of sub array of continuous ones. Okay, so it will contain the count. Okay, for example, like here we saw 7, so max ones will contain, okay, at the moment 7 is the maximum number of ones we have found by looking at our array and flipping 2 zeros, any 2 zeros in a given period of time. Okay, 0 counts. So what this 0 counts will contain? 0 counts will contain the count of zeros in our sliding window. Okay, and this count should remain less than the k if this count will increase than k. For example, if 0 count will increase to 3, so what will happen? We will simply move left. We will see in our sliding window, we will simply move our left one step forward, which means one step towards right, and we will decrease this count. Okay, our aim is to keep this count less than the k. Okay, or at least equal to the k. The 0 count should not move like should not be greater than the k. Okay, why? Because at the given time we can only flip the k number of zeros. Okay, in order to make consecutive ones sub array or series. Now here we have current ones. So what this will contain? This will contain the current number of ones in our array. So this will be used in order to count, like for example, in our sliding window. So in our sliding window we will count how many current ones we have, and we will then compare it with max ones. If the current ones will be greater than the max ones, so we will update max ones with the value that current ones will have. If the current ones will be lesser than the max ones, so we will keep moving forward unless we will find out any current ones value that will be greater than the max ones, which will simply reflect that we have successfully found a sub array of consecutive ones by flipping any 2 zeros which is greater than the sub array that we previously found. of ones, of consecutive ones. Okay, so this is the essence of this question. And now let's look at how this question will move forward and how this question will be executed visually. Once we will be done with the visualization, so we will jump towards the coding part. Okay, now, so how this question will move forward is that we have this sliding window here. Right now this window is very small, so if I expand it, let's say, so here you can see two pointers, left and right. So right will be used for the main traversal part. Okay, and what left will be used for, we will see in a bit. Okay, now contract it, and right now we are starting this window at the 0th index. Okay, if let's say right will find out that right is pointing towards 1, what will happen, we will simply update our max ones, or let's say here current ones. Okay, so update this current ones. I'll tell you like how the max ones will work later on. So I mean, right now we have updated our current ones, and at the moment, since we have max ones as 0, so we can compare. Okay, here it is 0, here it is 1, so 1 is greater. So what we will do, we will update it with 1. Then what we will do, we are simply going to expand our window. Okay, now our window is covering to up to the point of first index, and here we have also found 1. So what will happen, right now we are updating our window, so make it 2. I'm not directly changing it, but just to make the intuition that it will be compared with each iteration. So I mean, okay, no worries, like let's update it. Yeah, so here we have 2, so it means like at the moment we have found a sub array where there are maximum 2 ones. Okay, so and current ones, which means like the current window is also containing 2 ones. Okay, now what will happen when I expand this window further, right has found 0, so right is pointing towards 0. Now we have to, what we need to do, we need to first update the 0 count. So right now in our sliding window we have found like 1 0. Okay, so here you can see the 0, but since the 0 count is less than the k, okay, so what will happen, we will do nothing and we will simply move forward. Okay, except doing one thing which I've just remembered is this, that we will update our max ones count. Ali, why we are updating max ones? I mean, there are two ones and 1 0, so why you have written 3? Because we are treating this 0 as 1. Just understand, like let's say if we flip, okay, if we flip the 0, so it will create the sub array of 3 consecutive ones. That's why we have updated this max ones. Okay, now what will happen, we are further going to move forward our right, and right has again encountered 0. So now what will happen, we are first going to update this 0 count. Okay, so now our sliding window contains 2 zeros. Ali, now it is equal to k. Will that affect our sliding window? No. Why? Because still 0 count is either equal or less than k. When our sliding window will get affected, when the 0 counts variable will contain a value that will be greater than k, then our 0 counts, then our sliding window will get affected. But right now we are simply going to update our max ones. Okay, with 4, and I forgot to update this current ones as well. So right now it will be treated as 4 ones, because we can flip upmost 2 zeros because the k is 2. Okay, so these 2 zeros will be treated as 1. Let's say we have already flipped them. Okay, cool. Now what will happen, our window will further expand. Now right has encountered 1. So what will happen, we are simply going to come here and we are going to update our max ones as 5. I have to come here and update this current ones as 5 as well. Okay, so the thing is, like right now in our sliding window, you can see there are 5 places, and by flipping these 2 zeros, let's say, we can have a sub array of consecutive ones. So 5 ones, okay, we can have in a sub array. So now what will happen, again right will expand, right has again encountered 1. So what we will do, let's update this part. So 6, now current ones is greater than max one, so update this max with 6. Okay, now what will happen, right will again move forward, right has again found out 1. So let's update this current one and this max one. So current one is 7 and max one is 7. Okay, now the game will change. When I will expand this this sliding window, right has found 0. Now what we are going to do, we are going to change the 0 count, and the count will become 3. 3 is greater than 2. Okay, now our sliding window will get affected. So what we will do, we are first of all going to, when the 0 count will increase, so what will happen, we are going to shrink our window. Okay, till which point, till a 0 count becomes less than or equal to k. Okay, how? Let's say by shrinking this left. So left has moved one step forward. Okay, now again 0 count is 3. So what we will do, we will shrink it further. Now left has found out 0, so left is pointing towards 0. When left will find 0, what will happen, we are first going to decrease the count by 1, so the final count will become 2 here, which is equal to or less than 0. Okay, less than k. So 0 count is equal to or less than k. So yes, k is 2 and 0 count is also 2. So now what will happen, we are further going to move it one step forward. Okay, okay, sorry about this visualization part. Okay, now you can see in our sliding window, left is pointing towards this 0 and right is pointing towards this 0. So if you consider the current count of 1, how many ones will appear here? Let me remove it. So if I flip this 0, it will become 1. There are 3 ones, so 4 ones, and then right is also pointing towards 0. So if I flip this 0, it will become 5 ones. Okay, so the current ones is 5 and the maximum ones which we previously found out was 7. So so the maximum ones was 7 and the current ones are 5. So what will happen, when we will match, this one will win, so we will leave it as it is, and then we are now going to move our we are going to expand our window, our sliding window. So now right will move forward. Now right is pointing towards 1. So what will happen, now we are going to change it and we are going to update our current ones as 6. Now we will again compare. So which one is greater, max one is greater, so we will again leave it and we are going to expand our window. Now finally right has reached till this point, which is the final one. So again right has found 1. So what we are going to do, we are simply going to update our current ones variable. So the final current count is 7 and the max ones, the max count of ones that we have found previously is also 7. So comparing both of them will give us the final count, which is 7. Okay, which one will you pick? So we are going to pick max ones because this is the variable that is of utmost importance for us. Okay, because we want to return the count of a sub array which contains the maximum number of ones. Okay, so this will be our answer, max ones, and the value is 7. Okay, So I hope like now you have understood okay how things worked out, how we have how we can calculate this current ones count. I have simply counted here, but the formula to calculate this current one is pretty simple, which is right. So right means like this. So right index minus left. Okay, so right, the better word should be right pointer. So right pointer minus left pointer, okay, whatever the value is, and then plus 1. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate current ones. Okay, cool. Now let's jump towards the coding part. So here we are at LeetCode, and the question number is 1004, max consecutive ones 3. Okay, so I hope like we have already understood the question. So the question is saying, given a binary array nums and an integer k, return the maximum number of consecutive ones in the array if you can flip at most k zeros. Okay, so here we have this was the example that we saw, and the case 2. Okay, now let's start writing out the solution for this question. So what we are going to do, let's say first of all, let's make this variable current ones, and we are going to initialize it with 0. So just like we saw in the visualization, current ones, and then there was left is also initialized with 0, left pointer, and then there was max ones, and again is initialized with 0. One more variable that we are initializing here is count zeros, and we are also initializing it with 0. So what this count 0 will contain, this count 0 will contain the number of zeros in a sliding window. Okay, cool. Now what we are going to do for right in range length nums, for right in range nums, range length and nums. So right pointer will be initialized at index 0, so it will start from 0 and it will keep moving forward till the very end, till the very last element of nums array. Okay, so as I said earlier in the visualization part, that right will be used for the main traversal part. Cool. Now what we are going to do, we are first going to define our condition, which is if nums right. So if right will find out that right is pointing towards an element which is 0, so what will happen, we are simply going to update the count zeros. Okay, and why we are doing, because while count zeros is greater than k, remember that if the count 0 is less than or equal to k, it is fine. But let's say if it crosses the threshold of k, then what will happen, then we are going to check if nums left is equals 0. In our case, initially it pointing towards 1, so we will see what will happen. But if let's say nums left is pointing towards 0, so what we are going to do, we are simply going to decrease the count of zeros by 1. Okay, but despite this case, like for example, whether nums left is pointing towards 0 or 1, what will happen, we are simply going to move left one step forward till the point that nums left will find out a 0, and if it will do what will happen, we are simply going to decrease count zeros by 1 so that it can skip that 0 and move forward. Okay, so in our case, what happened, we got 3 zeros like in a sliding window, so the count zeros was 3. So what we did, we skipped the first 0 in order to move forward, so our count became 2. Okay, now afterwards what we are going to do, we are simply going to define this count ones and the current ones, and what this current ones will contain. As I said, the formula was right minus left plus 1, and then we are going to compare max ones. So max ones comma current ones. Okay, so the comparison will happen here. If let's say the current ones is containing a value that is greater than the max ones, so max ones will variable will be updated. Okay, and once we are done with all of this, so we are going to return max ones as discussed in the visualization, because this is our main aim, our ultimate aim. Okay, in to get maximum to get a sub array of ones, and that sub array should contain the maximum number of ones in the whole array. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are first going to click on run and check that everything is working fine. So yep, initial test cases got accepted. As you can see, this was the example that we saw in our visualization, and the output is 7 and the expected one is 7 also. Okay, so it matched and it got accepted. So now click on submit, and now awesome, so all of our test cases got accepted, and here is the proof. Okay, awesome. So that was it of this question. I hope you like this question. If you have any issues in understanding this question, if you have any concerns regarding how things worked or how this code is written, how things are getting executed one by one, feel free to reach out in the comments, share your concerns. I would love to help you out. I would love to support you in your learning these coding patterns. If you have any feedback for me, how can I improve my delivery, my content, please feel free to reach out in the comments and share your concerns, your support, your feedback. I would love to read them and I would love to get improved. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next video with a new question. So take care till then, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video. So take care, bye.